Hello and welcome back to the next installation of the Inside Out inks. So this was the third highest emotion voted, and that is Embarrassment. And I honestly love that this guy was picked. So I'll leave a photo of Embarrassment on the screen for you guys. He is a big pink guy with a purple sweatshirt, purple pants, brown shoes, and weirdly enough, like reddish brown eyes, like reddish hair. He's just a big blushing man, and it's totally fine and definitely a valid emotion. So today I picked 24 inks to kind of encapsulate what I feel like is a good color palette for Embarrassment. And as usual from the previous inks and inks slash emotions that I've already done this series, I'll give a little bit of backstory about these inks too. As for supplies, I'm still in my A5 Hobonichi blank notebook here with the 52 GSM Tomoe River Sans and paper. I'm going to be using my MU stamp block to do the inks. A Pilot, I think it's Irotsushi, or yeah, Iro Utsushi, geez, dip pen here. This has a medium nib on it. And then I'm going to be using my Kokuyo water brush just to kind of add a little bit of dimension to some of the inks. Maybe, I don't know yet. Anyways, let's go ahead and just get started with the very first ink here. And this one I wasn't really sure if it really fit with the color palette, but I need to include it. And this is Sailing Stones by Colorverse from the 2024 Color Event. Naturally, when it comes to any of the inks from the 2024 color event, I feel embarrassed for them. But regardless, I feel like this color fits in the color palette for Embarrassment because it might be like a shade of his shoes. It honestly doesn't fit super well with his character colors, but I wanted to include a nice kind of muted brown because we all need a little bit of shadowing going on when we're doing some kind of artwork, and this is a really great shadowy like color. In terms of the shading in this ink, it is fantastic. It's beautiful. I really like the color. It's light though. That is my only kind of gripe with it. But other than that, it's really fun. And it has a few different colors within it, like a gray and a brown situation. And yeah, but it's embarrassing because this is what Colorverse thought would be the brown of the color event for 2024, and I'm very disappointed. Next up, we have a Birmingham Pen Company ink, and this is Jasper Vein. And this ink is courtesy of pen friend Priscilla. Thank you so much for sending this one my way. It is so beautiful. This is one of the newer releases from Birmingham Pen Company as of, I think, like the beginning of 2025-ish, maybe. Could have been the end of 2024. They kind of blur together for me. But the color of this is a reddish brown or a ruddy brown. It is beautiful. I felt like this was a really good color to match his shoes in terms of like the character. And I don't really have any kind of fun story of like why this ink would be embarrassing, but I will say one thing I'm starting to notice with Birmingham Pen Company inks is a lot of their inks do look the same but are just named something different. So maybe that could be something embarrassing about it. I don't know. Although I have not found another ink from Birmingham Pen Company that I have tried that actually looks like this one. So yeah, take what I say with a grain of salt. Next up, we have a nice red color, and this is from Diamine, part of their Shimmer-tastic line, and it is Dragon Blood. And it has a nice kind of goldish shimmer with a ruddy, muddy, bloody base. And the color of this one kind of reminds me a bit, again, of like his shoes, but also his hair and his eyes. So in the character depiction, he does have very reddish colored eyes, and for some reason, this ink just calls to me for that. I don't know. But on an embarrassing level, this ink reminds me so much of the dragon in Shrek. So the female dragon that is, I guess, dating Donkey. Sorry if that's a spoiler, but yeah, every time I see this ink, that is who I picture, is just the big red dragon in Shrek and her love for Donkey and like the gold chains, and yeah, that's what this ink is for me. Next up, we have another red, and this is Wearingeul's Captain Hook. And while this red could match Embarrassment's hair or Embarrassment's eyes or be parts of other tones on his body, the reason I picked this ink is specifically because of the name, Captain Hook. I feel like in the Disney movie Peter Pan, or in any of the adaptations with Captain Hook, he is always embarrassing himself with his issues, I guess. I don't get me wrong, I love him as a character. I find him hilarious. But I feel like he's just a very good embarrassing character, and the color of this ink just happened to match kind of Embarrassment's color palette, and it fit in my brain, and so I needed to include it. Next up, we have another one of the Diamine Forever inks that I've just been really enjoying lately, and this is Red Ochre. And this one for me, again, is that kind of hair color, shoe color, eye color for Embarrassment, the character from Inside Out. But the color itself is just this gorgeous, like, muddy red-brown again. I feel like Red Ochre is a really great name for this one. But the embarrassing thing that I think I can pull for this ink is it is hard to clean off of everything. I've noticed that with this one, specifically when I've been using it with my dip pens, it does have a bit more of a pigment to it. I mean, it is a pigment ink, I guess, but the pigment, I guess, is a little bit stronger, so it sticks to, like, my glass really well. It also came to be a little bit more difficult to clean out of, like, my water when I was cleaning my jars that I use for my water, and I just wanted to put that out there, that might be something to look out for the Forever inks. The pen that I currently have inked with Honey Pot as a Forever ink is doing just fine, but I have not cleaned it out yet. I'm going to be honest, the ink's been in there for 2 months and I'm still using it, so I'll let you know how it goes once I clean it. All right, let's go ahead and move into the pink families, which there's a lot of these in here, but first off, I want to start with kind of reddish pink, and this one is Private Reserve's Rose Rage. And the color of this one, like I said, is kind of more of a reddish toned pink. It's a bit more of a brighter pink. I feel like this one's really good for his skin tone or his blushing, if you will. But also because of the name, Rose Rage, I feel like it fits. And honestly, when swatching this one, it had a little bit of a rage moment and decided to just splat a little bit, which is great. But rage, I feel, also comes with embarrassment. Like, if you're feeling really embarrassed, you might feel a little bit of, like, rage with it, a little bit of anger with it. Yeah, and I could have saved this ink for anger, the emotion from Inside Out, but I just felt like it fit better with Embarrassment because of the color, but also because, you know, there's a little bit of a mixed emotion when it comes to Embarrassment for most people. Next, we have another red pink color, and this is from Ferris Press. It is Pink Eraser. First off, the color of this, again, skin tone, could be used for shadowing, blah, blah, blah. A lot of these pinks are going to be part of Embarrassment's skin color. But Pink Eraser is perfect for Embarrassment because I feel like when you're really embarrassed, you just want to, like, erase your mistakes, right? Like, you just want to take your eraser and just scrub away and hope that it disappears. And Pink Eraser, I feel like, is a good fit for that. Next up, we have another pink. This is Diamine Shimmertastic series again, and this one is Pink Champagne. This color is honestly so pretty. It is a bit more of like that kind of red pink, but it is lighter, almost to a coral point. And the golden shimmer in this is just beautiful. It really does look like a bubbling glass of pink champagne. I decided to include this for Embarrassment because I feel like when most people have champagne, or maybe too much champagne, they may do something a bit embarrassing. And it's always fun when that moment is at a big event where champagne would be served. I don't know, I just thought it would be really funny to include this and have like a champagne story with Embarrassment included. I don't know. I personally don't have any embarrassing stories with champagne, but I know they exist for many people out there. Keeping on with the pinks, next is Anderillium's Rosy Maple Moth Pink. And again, color on this one is pretty much that of Embarrassment's skin color, fur color, character color, I don't really know. But this one has a really nice rosy tone to it. I felt like it'd be really great for like shading. And honestly, just who doesn't turn a nice bright shade of rosy when they're embarrassed? So that's kind of why I included this one. That's really the only reason. This ink is beautiful and lovely and a great baby pink color and just fantastic. Next up on my pink list here is Sweet Dreams from Diamine. This one I think is from the purple ink vent, which was 2023, I believe. And this is a scented ink. This ink just hurts my feelings. It's, yeah, pink because of Embarrassment's main color is pink for his body. But this ink is embarrassing to Diamine. It feathers on everything. It smells atrocious to me. I cannot stand the smell of this ink. It is like a bubblegum sweet candy smell, and it just reminds me of the dentist, and I can't do it. I can't do it. I break this out only when I need to swatch it. That is the only reason I have kept this ink in my collection. That, and I really just love the color and think that maybe when I have a cold at some point and I can't smell, I'll just use this ink up because the color is just so beautiful and bright pink and fabulous. I want this color without the scent and without the feathering, and then I will be happy. But yes, this ink is just embarrassing to the Diamine line of inks. Next up, we have a Van Diemen's ink, and this one is called Love Potion from their Valentine's Day release as of this year, 2025. This ink is just so beautiful. I love this ink. I was on the hunt for a very long time for a really beautiful baby pink color, and I found this. I swatched it, and I fell in love immediately. It's like the Love Potion worked on me for this ink as a love of this Love Potion. Anyways, the color is beautiful, baby pink with a slight red tint, and the shimmer in this is multi-tonal. It's like green and pink and silver and gold and just holographic at points. It's beautiful. I really love this ink a lot. But in terms of like embarrassingness, I guess, it could be like you take a love potion to, you know, fall in love with your crush, or you give your crush a love potion to make them fall in love with you. And it's just super cheesy and maybe a little bit embarrassing because it probably isn't going to work because I don't think love potions are actually real, but you know, it's a fun movie kind of scenario, and I feel like it's just kind of a good embarrassing little tidbit just to add in here. Continuing on with some more pinks, I have Wearingeul's Flowers on the way here. Sadly, this is a discontinued ink, so it is pretty limited on where you can find it still, but it is a beautiful color. The color of this ink is a bit more of a muted pink, and it does have some really interesting shading in certain swatches on certain papers. Let's see what we get today. But shading I've seen in it before is almost like a gray tone, even to a lavender purple situation. I've gotten some hints of oranges coming through too. It's a beautiful ink, really pretty shading, but it is a bit dry. That's my only gripe with this one. In terms of making it embarrassing, I feel like flowers, maybe you lost your flowers along the way, now you're embarrassed. Or when you went to the grocery store, you bought flowers and you accidentally left them there at the grocery store and went all the way home and just remembered you left them at the register. I don't know, something like that could be considered a little bit embarrassing, I guess. Next up, we have another Birmingham Pink Company ink, and my favorite pink of all time right now, and that is Magnolia Mirage. And I know I've talked about this ink probably 8 gajillion times, but it's just so pretty. I can't not talk about it. It's a baby pink with purple haloing, purple shading, a little bit of like a peachy tone in there. Fantastic. Birmingham Pen Company, fantastic. Love the color of this. Is so unique too. It's just beautiful. Matches Embarrassment's kind of like skin situation again for color matching the character. And in terms of embarrassing, I guess like if you're seeing a mirage in the middle of a desert, that could be possibly embarrassing. I don't know, it's kind of sad, honestly. Like you think it's there, but it's not. But maybe you like told your travel buddies that you saw this oasis and it wasn't actually there. So that could be a bit embarrassing, I guess. Next up, we have another Van Diemen's ink, and this one is from their Encore line, and this one is Swan Lake. And just look at the shimmer. Wild. I've had it show up a bunch of different colors, so we're gonna see what kind of color we get today. But ultimately, the color of this is kind of a color shift between a lavender, pink, baby blue situation, and it has this iridescent, kind of holographic looking golden silver shimmer. Really, really pretty. It is a bit light, so I will put that out there that it's kind of hard to read in a very fine nib, but it's just such a pretty color, and it's such a unique color. I was really tempted to do Swan Lake versus Snowy Mountain Sunset by Diamine, or Diamine, by Van Diemen's, and I ended up picking this one just because I felt it was a bit more of a different variation of colors, and I'm really happy with it. But for me, the embarrassing part of Swan Lake is my family, well, primarily my grandmother's side of the family, would go every single year to the Nutcracker, which I know is not Swan Lake, but it's a performance, and it's like we've seen it so many times, why do we keep going kind of thing. And I know it's like a tradition kind of situation, but I was always really, I guess, cost conscious of like, why are we paying to go see the Nutcracker again and again and again and again and again and again and again? Like, we've seen it so many times, like, why do we need to keep seeing it? I already know it's going to happen. I'd rather spend that money on something else, like a really nice gift for somebody else, maybe. I don't know. That's my 2 cents on this one. All right, narrowing it down to the last few pinks here, we have Dominant Industries Royal Azalea. This is number 111. And this is a nice kind of cool toned, deeper pink, almost fuchsia, almost magenta leaning, but not quite there. It's still pretty firmly pink for me. And yeah, this one just matches, again, skin tone for Embarrassment. I feel like it's a really good shading color for him and like the darker areas. And yeah, I don't really have an embarrassing thing for this one. I just felt like it really just matched him in terms of his color. And then our final pink, this is going to be Ferris Press's Lights on Broadway. And the color of Lights on Broadway, I feel, moves more into maybe his sweatshirt or pants. He's definitely got some bright purple pants on. This ink is technically pink / purple, or magenta is what I would classify it as, or fuchsia to some. Those colors can be kind of interchanged, kind of not. It really just depends on how technical you want to get. But Lights on Broadway is a beautiful, kind of simple, standard magenta-like color, and I feel like it's a good color for Embarrassment because, I don't know, I feel like if you're performing on Broadway, you've got to have like some moments where you may feel a bit embarrassed, or if you mess up your lines, or you fall on stage, or something like that. I feel like it could have a little bit of an embarrassing aspect to it. And that's really just why I wanted to include this one, and just because it matched really well to me in my head. Next, let's move more into the purples. This is going to be Dominant Industries Sunset. And this ink is absolutely stunning. It does have a bit of a chroma shading aspect to it as well. And in terms of color, I feel like it just fits in terms of Embarrassment's jacket and pants. I don't really have kind of an embarrassing emotional tie-in for Sunset, but I just feel like this ink fits with him. I don't know. He needs a sunset ink in his life. The next purple I have here is, again, by Van Diemen's. This is part of the Feline collection, and it is Ragdoll Kiss. This is one of those inks that if you want subtlety with beauty, you got it. This ink is stunning. It is a light purple color, leaning more towards the lavender side, but it is pretty neutral, like soft violet. And the shimmer in it is also a purple color, so it's like purple on purple. And it's just very subtle. It looks beautiful in full pages. I actually have this ink on a full bottle wish list. It's just stunning. I love this ink. And again, I feel like it fits his pants or jacket situation. But for the embarrassing aspect of this, I feel like it could be like you're kissing your doll, like you're practicing kissing a doll or something instead of your crush or something. I don't know. I feel like this ink just has something embarrassing to it, and that's kind of what popped in my head when I thought of it, and maybe that's embarrassing for me to say. I don't know, but I just feel like this one fits for sure. And another kind of soft purple color here is Lavender Frost by Diamine. And I'm not super blown away by this ink by any means in terms of like color. To me, it's just kind of like a soft gray with a purple like lean. And the silver shimmer in it's really nice too. I prefer Memory Lane to this ink if we're sticking with the brand Diamine and from Inkfence, but I feel like this ink needs to be here because there is a little bit of a grayness in Embarrassment's color palette. So we need to have a kind of grayish color, and I felt the purple lean to the gray color is a good fit just because he needs it. He needs it. But I don't really have anything embarrassing to say about Lavender Frost. It's just a nice kind of soft purpley gray ink. And another kind of soft purpley gray ink is from Ferris Press again, and this is Blushing Mushroom. As you can see, that beautiful, beautiful rose gold shimmer on there. And again, kind of color representation for this one is jacket, pants, shading situation. But I wanted to include this ink specifically because of the name, Blushing Mushroom, because I feel like our man here, our Mr. Embarrassment, is just a bit of a blushing mushroom. Like, this is gonna sound terrible, his body shape, and he's pink, and he's just a blushing mushroom. That's all I got. Stepping away from the kind of gray purples and back into a bit more of a firm purple, if not blurple, this is Diamine's Jacaranda. This ink is just fantastic, chef's kiss, love it. One of my favorites from the purple ink vent, hence why I bought a bottle of it. It's lavender, it's blurple, it's beautiful. I love it so much. Color palette wise, Embarrassment's jacket, pants, same story, different color. Embarrassment wise, emotionally is on me. So originally when I unboxed this ink, I guess, out of the purple ink vent, I had no idea what a jacaranda was. And I was saying that it was really like a funny ink, a funny name to put in a box for like a Christmas, like holiday box kind of thing. And I was schooled by many of you, and I really appreciate that. And actually on my recent trip to Mexico, I got to see the jacaranda trees, or the jacaranda trees, and they're just beautiful. And I have so much more appreciation for this ink now because of that, and also because you guys taught me before, you know, what it actually is, which is kind of cool. Next up, we have a Bungubox ink, and this is Tipsy Mood. And this ink doesn't necessarily fit his color palette super well, but again, jacket, pants, same thing, different color. But Tipsy Mood to me is just an embarrassing moment. So whenever you get really tipsy, you tend to embarrass yourself, and hence you just, it needs to be included with Embarrassment. I'm sorry. This ink, by the way, is courtesy of Allison over at Little Coco Studio. She's just the sweetest human on the planet, and yeah, I'm so grateful for her. And yeah, I just wanted to give her a shout out because this ink is just really pretty, and I love it, and I'm having a lot of fun playing around with it, and yeah, that's what I got. Okay, our second to last ink is Ghost by Diamine, and this one is from the green ink vent, which I think was in 2022. And for this one, I don't really know how to include it in the color scheme for Embarrassment, other than I feel like we needed a nice gray that was actually a bit more blue. This ink has some beautiful shading in it, and is just overall a really nice ink from the ink vent. But the name Ghost just sparked embarrassment for me, because usually when you're feeling really embarrassed, you just want to disappear. You just want to like go in the corner and like turn into a ghost and just float away. So I had to include this one because of the name, not necessarily that the color really fits with his palette. It's just, it's a name thing here. And lastly, ending off with the name that I am going to give Embarrassment is Marley from Diamine. And this ink is just really cool in general. It again kind of matches his color palette because of the a bit more purple grayness to it. But the ink itself has like pink hints in it. It has teal, it has gray, it has purple, very multi-tonal, very interesting. Probably one of the more interesting inks from the ink vent. This one's from the 2024 black ink vent, by the way. And yeah, I had to include it because of the name Marley. I feel like I'm having a good time naming all of the Inside Out characters outside of their emotion. So yes, his name is Embarrassment in the show or in the movie, but I feel like he needs a real name, and I decided that Marley was a good fit for him just because I don't know, he just looks like a Marley to me. I'm rolling with it. Okay, now that I have all of these swatched down, I'm gonna let them finish drying. I'm gonna come back in and zoom once everything is dry and just talk about the inks themselves. I hope I picked some good colors for him. He was kind of hard to pick and choose from because he's only like 3 colors. So hopefully this is a decent enough range that would be encapsulating for the color palette of Embarrassment. But I'll see you guys in a minute. We'll zoom in and we'll talk a bit more. Alrighty, I'm back. Let's go ahead and zoom on in. So starting off, I chose Colorverse's Sailing Stones from the color event of 2024. This is technically a limited edition color now because this color didn't get picked, but as you can see, it is a nice kind of soft gray brown, beautiful shading. It is a bit light and a bit dry in writing, but other than that, it's just an absolutely gorgeous color. Then I had Birmingham Pen Company's Jasper vein, beautiful muddy brown red. Shading in it's fantastic. I'm really excited to play with this color a bit more in the fall. It's just a beautiful, nice kind of, I don't know, red brown. I felt like it matched Embarrassment for sure. Then we had Diamine Dragon Blood, gorgeous, again, kind of more bloody red color, red brown color with this stunning golden shimmer. Absolutely beautiful, really well flowing. Honestly, the Diamine Shimmer-tastic inks are just fantastic in their own right. Then I had Wearingeul's Captain Hook, beautiful, kind of nice, darker red color with a slight pinkness to it. It does have a little bit of a black-green sheen kind of popping around here and like a halo effect. I personally have never gotten it to sheen and writing, so I think that could just be a swatching kind of situation. Then we have Diamine's Forever Red Ochre, again, that kind of like muddy red-brown color. And just for funsies, this is a water brush, and you can see how waterproof this ink is. I did get some of the ink over here, but it is a beautiful red-brown color, absolutely stunning. It felt like it matched really well to his color palette, and just, yeah, can't complain. Then we have Private Reserve's Rose Rage, beautiful darker pink color, a bit of a greenish yellow kind of sheen situation going on with this one. It does sheen better on some papers. This is the Sands and Tomoe paper, but I find that on the original Tomoegawa Tomoe paper, it obviously sheens a bit more, but it's a beautiful color and the sheen complements it very well. Then we have Ferris Press's Pink Eraser, a nice kind of standard red-pink color. Really does look like that of a pink eraser if you use those in school. The flow on this one is a tad dry for me, but not as dry as some of the other Ferris Press inks that I have played around with. Then we have Diamine Shimmer-tastic Pink Champagne. Again, beautiful, kind of soft pink color with a bit of a red base to it. I consider this one almost a coral in some instances. With the yellow shimmer with it too, it does make it look a little bit more orange than it actually is. Beautiful color. Really does remind me a lot of like a glass of sparkling champagne. Then we have Anderillium's Rosy Maple Moth Pink. Stunning. No notes. It is beautiful baby pink, beautiful shading, beautiful flow, really just a fantastic color. And then we have Diamine Sweet Dreams up here, which is a scented ink from the Purple Ink Vent back in 2023. Cannot stand the smell of this ink and the fact that it feathers on pretty much everything, which surprisingly it did not feather here, which gives me hope. But the color of this is beautiful, bright pink, almost like a deep pink, not quite hot pink. But like in the crayon box, I would probably consider this to be like the pink crayon. Then we have my love over here, which is Van Diemen's Love Potion. Just look at the shimmer. Oh my gosh. It is like a glossy lip gloss on rosy pink lips. I love this ink so much. And in different, like you can see the shimmer is just this multi-tonal gorgeousness. The base color of this is the perfect baby pink for me. It's slightly red leaning and it's deep enough that I can actually read it. It's just beautiful. And this little dot right here was also from that Love Potion ink, and as you can see, it even gets really, really dark if you had a very juicy pen. Then I had Birmingham Pen Company's Magnolia Mirage. Really lovely ink, still my favorite pink of all time just because of the wild shading that it has. It's legible, it flows well, it's pink, it's purple, it's peach, it's just beautiful. Then we have Wearinguel Flowers on the way. Sadly, this ink is discontinued. It did pick up a little bit of shimmer from Love Potion up here, but the shading is phenomenal. As you can see, it goes all the way down to this kind of like purple gray situation. It has some red tones coming through. I've even had bits of orange pop through on other papers as well. It's beautiful ink, just a little bit dry. Then we have, excuse me, Dominant Industries Royal Azalea, a bit more of a purple fuchsia magenta toned pink, a deeper pink, definitely a floral pink. I just really like the shading in this one. I don't really have any notes. It's just really good. Then we had Ferris Press Lights on Broadway. Again, no notes, just a nice kind of standard magenta fuchsia-y like color. A little bit of shading, but not a whole lot else going on. And then on the bottom here, we had Van Diemen's Swan Lake. As you can see, it is just a rainbow of color, a plethora of color. It is teal, it is purple, it is slightly pink. It has this kind of like icy gold champagne-y shimmer thing going on. Really, really nice and just a cool ink overall. And next to that, we had Dominant Industries Sunset. Again, a beautiful kind of more chroma shading ink. It's showing up a lot more purple on camera and it's a bit more pink in person. And it's just really nice kind of soft champagne-y shimmer on a pink to purple chroma shading ink. Although this one does get a little bit dry depending on what pen you use. I find in medium nibs it works the best. Then I have Van Diemen's Ragdoll Kiss, another ink that I'm just really in love with right now. Just all the Van Diemen inks right now, all the Van Diemen inks. But the soft kind of lavender shimmer on this lavender base is just phenomenal. And next to that, we had Diamine's Lavender Frost. Again, a bit more of like a purple on purple situation, but it's a bit more of like gray purple on gray purple situation. Really nice, a deeper color, and overall just a really nice flow on this one. I'm not overwhelmed with this ink, but it is really nice and very well behaving. And then we had Ferris Press's Blushing Mushroom. Still love this ink to this day. The shading is phenomenal. The like rose gold coppery shimmer with the kind of blushy purple, gray purple kind of situation underneath is really, really nice as well. This one is not super dry, which I do really enjoy. And then we had Diamine Jacaranda or Jacaranda, and it's just phenomenal. Blurple, lavender, in your face. I love this ink so much. It's a standard. It's just beautiful. And then third to last here we have Bungubox Tipsy Mood, a nice, again, gray purple, lots of good shading in this ink, and it has a little bit of sheen that's kind of popping through right now too, which is kind of interesting. Then we had Diamine Ghost, again, a nice kind of chroma shading staple, a bit more gray blue than I would say gray purple, but really, really nice. And we ended off with Marley, which just has a plethora of colors in it, and is just a really nice gray, purple, pink situation with a little bit of teal going on as well. I did want to show you guys the water brush situation. I feel like it did really well in bringing out some of the more interesting tones of the inks, especially like the ones that are chroma shady. So this is Swan Lake, and you can see the blues kind of separating out. And then same with the Jacaranda up here, and the kind of blues separating out with that one too. And the Blushing Mushroom on the bottom, really, really nice. And then the last two here, Ghost and Marley, you can definitely see a lot more of those chroma shading colors coming through there too. Really, really cool, really awesome shaders here. All right, that is all I have for Embarrassment. This color palette is reminding me a lot of Nostalgia, which is one of the first inks I did. And I must say, I think I like Nostalgia's a little bit better just because it has a bit more browns in it. But this is still really nice kind of pinky purple vibes with some deeper reds and browns in it too, and some grays. You know, can't live without those things. But I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any other inks you think would match really well to Embarrassment's kind of color palette, or if you think there's an ink that I should have included that I didn't include here. I would love to hear about it down in the comments. But for now, I'm going to wish you guys a good rest of your day. Stay tuned for more of these videos coming soon. I'm working hard to get more of these ink videos out because I have a huge list that I'm trying to tackle. But yeah, stay tuned, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next. Bye!